The FCC says no to an ETF. We have Bitcoin reaching its highest levels ever of long-term holders, and is Meta about to change the face of humankind forever? All this and more on today's Blockchain Basement.
Bum, 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 bum. You ready for this? I'm ready. Welcome.
If you're gonna screw me, at least pull my hair.
Hell yeah. What you got?
They could start chopping off fingers. They're like, give me your seed phrase, but I don't know it.
Out to give the numbers out. And I was like, no, hang up the phone right now.
Or like when it dropped in 2020, was it like exciting?
400,000 to 600,000. The generational signals are now.
Level. So I don't even know if we're gonna get back below there. But if we do, that's kind of where we.
Welcome all to the Blockchain Basement. We're joined by the crew, the OGs. It's about Thursday, isn't it? About Thursday today? Yes. Are we almost through this week?
Yes.
It's been a long one, you know.
I feel like this week has flown by.
Yeah. You're going a little faster now. Things are. I mean, we're ramping up. We're redoing sets, coming up with new ideas. We are at the. After this video, make sure to go check out the buy-in or bug-out section of the Blockchain Basement's YouTube channel. We just posted a buy-in or bug-out video on aliens landing and taking over humanity. Me and DZ talk about what that might actually look like. So, pretty fun conversation. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Granny's Garden, Sack Nasty, Deadwood, Flat Smack, Thumbnail Investor, Beanie Blue Eyes, Phil Not a Crypto Guy. What's up? That's a lot of rockets. Holy cow. Meninja Forf. Welcome all. I'm feeling pretty damn good today. Things have been going basically how we've called them to go here in the basement so far, which I got to give myself a little pat on the back because I put myself out there calling for this. So here we are. And Bitcoin is looking to break above 27,000. It's right at about 27.2 right now. Oh, and pull my other computer up here. Got just this downward trend line. This is just a little backed up on the 4-hour chart.
Are you dual wielding over there?
I am. I'm dual wielding on the stream here. So this is a nice little breakout here. This is a good little green candle. Can it continue? Can we reach back up and test this? You know, this is basically around 29.3 up here. It peaked out at about $31,000, I believe, was the last peak we had. So we're definitely testing the upper echelons of our current range right now. It's got me feeling great. It's got me looking at particularly what came to mind over the night as I saw all the news break about Meta's plans with their smart glasses, things like that. I'm going to be paying attention to AI-focused crypto projects, but also Metaverse might have a fresh breath of air in the next bull market, which would be pretty awesome to see. So I'm not counting the Metaverse out, and what I see coming out from Meta, from Elon Musk and all the work with ChatGPT now live online, we'll be covering that as well. It's going to be dominating mainstream media for years on end. These systems, they're brand new. People don't quite understand them yet. But once, you know, Microsoft does that large advertising campaign, when they have it built into their, you know, kind of office suite and things are more solidified, it's going to get crazy for crypto projects that are helping in the AI narrative or systems that are operating. But honestly, the only one that comes to mind that I'm really thinking about is Singularity and then Singularity DAO. I don't know. I mean, do you think do you have any better AI things that you'd be looking for, BJ?
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
Those are the main ones. But
Yep.
I'm not super paying attention to the AI stuff, which is probably foolish, but it is what it is.
Well, we're going to do that today. We're going to make sure to not miss out on anything because obviously I brought up the graph as low-hanging fruit. It's already available on Coinbase. Let's go to CoinGecko here. Find the AI section. We've been looking at Graph. We've been looking at Ajax. Few others, but also Numerai. It's an older coin. Numerai.
Fetch AI.
Yeah, Fetch AI right up here. Render, obviously, we've been looking at. This is how the AI markets are looking right now, which is actually, if you ask me, really good because there's been a lot of pretty big news about AI breaking over the night and it hasn't reacted yet. So I will be watching this narrative grouping and category as a whole. There's some things that are actually in pretty good buying positions right now, but for Bitcoin, where we're at in the overall kind of tussle between Bitcoin holding supply, long-term held supply is just officially reached its highest level at over 76.09% of Bitcoin supply is held by long-term holders at this point.
What do you define long-term as? Was it a year plus or?
I believe it, let's see here. I think this goes off of holding it for, I believe, a year. I do believe it's a year. But honestly, like we see this paired with the exchange supply plummeting like it is, and then long-term going up like this. Overall, I'm just feeling good like it. We'd probably have to see what this metric for, I think this comes from Glassnode, how long it considers long-term holders. Because I know that some, you know, kind of cut hairs on that, but the SEC came out. There's been, you know, just a few leaks saying that an ETF is going to be approved for Bitcoin in short order, but the SEC is still fighting back against that narrative. Came out today.
Still say we see 19.7 before we see that happen.
You think so? And let's talk about
because they want to basically fill their bags, get capital losses, then launch the ETF early next year, and then rip into it. And between, they want to get those capital losses, then be able to buy their bags so that they already have a solid position into this, unless they've already been buying for years. So,
well, I do think that they've already been buying for years, though. I think,
of course.
You know, and you know, to get that one last breath of washout before they accept and move forward with an ETF, so they can have that unrealized losses that they gain value from.
Well, didn't we talk a while ago that if the ETF, spot ETF is done, aren't they buying their bags from MicroStrategy, or I feel like there was something involved in there. Or am I completely making that up?
Well, no. So BlackRock is already invested heavily into MicroStrategy.
There we go. Okay.
So they already have that kind of traditional market exposure to MicroStrategy. And that comes into my mind, like they already have been stacking their positions, and they also have those positions in the Bitcoin mining realm as well. So it's not like they'd be missing out if...
By positions, or do you mean borderline majority ownership?
Basic. Well, I mean, I think they're at like 9% or something like that.
I thought it was 50.
No.
50% on 5 of the largest companies.
Yes, that's the thing. Is it's spread? It's decentralized control.
But here's the thing. So let's say you say it's only 9%, but that 9% does 90% of the pull. So like that's where it's relevant. And again, I'm talking out my bum here a little bit, but it's like, if you own 50% in the 5 largest, does that mean the largest manufacturers or the most efficient ASICs? Like, there's a lot of data points I would love to know that I don't know here.
Yeah. I'm going to try, because I believe I pulled it as well. They have a graph of the ownership increase of BlackRock into, I believe it's Riot Blockchain, or one of the other ones. I believe it was Riot Blockchain, but I think we'll have that later on in the show here today. If not, I'll pull it up. But, essentially, I just see this SEC delay, and then, oh my God, we got it. It's just more back and forth confusion talk. The SEC is just using delayed tactics still. It's everything you could expect. The best thing that I got out of yesterday's hearing was the conversation about Pokemon cards. So this is the moment that's going to be running over and over and over again on crypto Twitter for years to come. It's absolutely great. This is from Farouk. I'm going to press this. You ready for this, Owen? Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to do it.
You could purchase a Pokemon card. I don't know what the context is, but if you're just purchasing a Pokemon card.
If I purchase a Pokemon card, is that a security transaction?
That's not a security.
Okay. If I were to purchase a tokenized Pokemon card on a digital exchange via a blockchain, is that a security transaction?
I'd have to know more.
Okay. So for you, the process of tokenization is what transforms a non-security transaction into a security transaction?
Look. If the investing,
I thought you were technology neutral.
If the investing public is anticipating profits based upon the efforts of others and they're exchanging funds, that's the core.
I see my time has expired. So.
No, he's like, I'm out.
I love that. So you're saying that just the literal act of tokenizing something turns it into a security is basically what you're trying to say here.
But I'm technology agnostic.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay neutral here, but at the moment that you turn
isn't his job to be versed on how to do the regulation and to understand what he's regulating?
Absolutely.
I mean, it just seems, if I want to go to a math tutor, I would love them to know what an exponent is.
Yeah.
Like, that seems handy.
It seems relevant.
To be like, what do you call him? Oh, an expert in your field?
Yeah. I mean, he's an expert in crypto. He knows what crypto is.
I'm aware he knows.
He's from MIT.
Like, he's just playing dumb.
He was in that polycule with Ellison's.
Yeah.
All them. So it was nice to see. And I like to see Congress really digging their talons into him on specifics, because they basically are calling him out. Hey, you're doing regulation by enforcement that we didn't give you authority to do, and you have to reel it back. You have to come in, sit down, talk about what you're doing. I hope he gets fired. F her out and find out.
Also, if we're pausing, I do not recall who asked. Somebody asked if I am bullish on Kopi. Not super versed on it. I know it's in Cardano. I played the game at Rare Evo. It was super fun. The guys are really cool. They seem super bullish on everything, so it's definitely worth watching. It seems like one of those games that like doesn't suck. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a pro, and the graphics were great. But I'm not sure how much of a closed ecosystem what I got to experience was, meaning was it super controlled so that it ran very well? But and the lighting actually was very impressive, and a lot of the stuff. Like, I just remember roaming through a cave. There might have been some extracurricular activities the night before that would have put me in a vegetative state. Oh, God. So certain things I don't quite remember, but I remember being fun. It was important.
Vegetative state.
Well, speaking of being in a vegetative state, Janet Yellen and the U.S. Treasury are having an issue come about for themselves. We're going to do just a slight touch on this. I'm going to be doing some longer form content.
You mean pull a Biden?
Yeah, they're pulling a Biden. They're getting, he has robot number 6 is in operation right now. So they just oiled him up. He's good to go for a bit. This is from Joe Casorti. As yields scream higher on treasury bonds that the government's selling to people to keep the Ponzi scheme going, the total amount of losses on U.S. Treasuries that are already previously bought are approaching $1.5 trillion in the red. So this is just highlighting. I mean, I'll just say this. Good thing the Fed has created facilities so that banks never have to sell. That's talking about the BTFP, the Bank Term Funding Program, which is a ridiculously dumb name. That's their third mechanism of quantitative easing. But the thing about this is, and I'll keep this graph up while I'm talking here. So this is the Treasury losses. This is not the...
is it a locked time that they can't sell for?
Yes.
Okay.
But that's where the
What
emergent...
is that locked time?
Well, the locked time ranges from, 2-year, 5-year, 10-year, but that's where the emergency repo comes in. Treasury buys back those bonds and reissues new ones at a higher yield rate to make them more attractive to hold on
Because
to.
they still have the
part.
entire system of rehypothecation. That it's like they're not going to stop that.
Absolutely.
Like,
And
that's
that's
an
the
entire
key.
mechanism.
That's the key. And that's why I wanted to can this in a short amount of time, because the BTFP is what they're talking about on the Fed creating facilities. That's already been used heavily and is near out of funds. And essentially the losses that they have on these treasuries is going to be translated into treasury repos. They're already running BTFP. So guess what the third option for fixing this situation is?
BlackRock? That's not a joke, by the way.
Do you think BlackRock? How would BlackRock fix
I kept
this?
trying to find the paper on everything that BlackRock was looking at. I was saying this yesterday with the GDI and the GDP basically pulling inverse of one another, and they were setting up basically their next mechanisms for what they're going to be doing with real estate, mortgage buybacks, and a bunch of other stuff. If there were more than just the three of us talking, like, I would try to dig and find this. Like, I need to just do it after the stream.
So that's a theory. So that
It's not a theory. It's in one of their weekly reports that they released last week.
Well, but they'd have to be doing it in mass to fix the situation in mass. So it's a theory that
I'm not saying they're trying to fix the situation in mass. And so, for example, yes, I'm going to be controversial here. So you create the problem, then create the solution. So BlackRock wanted to make a bunch of money. They needed to develop something. Oh, oops, we're at war in Ukraine. Oops, they're billions of dollars in debt. Oops, BlackRock's is coming in to fix it. So it's a similar situation.
Oops, Maui burned down.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not a question of whether or not that's happening there.
Yeah.
So if we're already in absolute turmoil here, why would they not be the same people to come in and do it? Now, the exact mechanisms that they're going to do it, again, I need to look all this up to be more versed on this. I apologize for not actually being able to explain this correctly, but it seemed like a lot of it was with mortgage securities and everything else.
Yeah. The thing about mortgage securities is that they are also in, I think there was $1.6 trillion in unrealized losses on mortgage securities. But essentially, what this is telling me is that they have already talked about and are openly using BTFP. They're doing treasury repos already. They're going to have to print. That's my point, is they're going to have to revert back to the printing and the bringing back down of interest
Mojo.
rates. I'm sorry.
By the Fed pivot?
Yeah, by the Fed pivot. That's what I'm talking about. We talk about the comparison of the 80s interest rates to now, and I can understand why, we showed the chart. It's following along.
A 40-year cycle.
It is. But there is also the variable that's going on right now where there's a lot more money leveraged in debt at this point by exponential amounts.
So 40-year cycles, you have your inflection points. We're going to go 1940 to now, which I realize is more than 40 years, but we'll go 40 to 80. Our inflection point was World War II, and then we had been the Federal Reserve for 20 years at that point, roughly.
The Federal Reserve was formed in 1913.
Yeah,
Yep.
so a little bit more than that. So we could say that it was a delayed catalyst there. The other delayed catalyst would be 1980, where and 9 years earlier, Nixon takes us out the gold standard. And I guess that's where you go into massive quantitative. Like, would you consider it taking us out the gold standard and just printing the crap out of money, quantitative easing?
I mean, you're at a point, if you're leading the country and you're in a cataclysm like we had a government shutdown, obviously if I was president, I would have not shut down the government. But
mainly what I'm getting at, it's like roughly within 2 decades of 1940. I mean, granted, that's a bigger gap. Like, you have some inflection points there. Although I do leave out, was that big thing? Oh, the Great Depression. So that, and World War II, and then, basically coming off the gold standard, So what was our catalyst point here? If it wasn't Rona, if it wasn't 0% fractional reserve banking, if it wasn't removing the debt ceiling, what is it going to be? Like those seem all like massive precipitates.
Oh yeah, we have the
disaster.
debt ceiling. That's actually the next thing that's in this convo. Pull up this chart. This is the U.S. national debt, and this is part of the conversation why they're in a hard spot. Is because the U.S. national debt is now growing faster than the economy. So it's probably fine. It's definitely not fine. Far from okay. So this is the national debt is the red line. GDP. So this is the gross domestic product. What we're bringing in. This is what we owe. And this number is outpacing our intake pretty heavily right now. As you can see, some things went wrong along the way since 1970. Here's where we talk about the gold standard moving. This essentially goes all the way back to what you're talking about, from the 40s to here, conveniently so. But yeah, here's the break point, essentially around the financial crisis of 2008, 2009, caused, in my opinion, this to flip. And now it's just been on a steady track upwards. That's why I really feel like this system, it's going to have to, set up a different kind of backing for what is backing up banks, what's backing up these treasury bonds, things like that. And we've seen a little bit of that kind of play with, wasn't it PayPal or another stable coin? I know I've seen a few stable coins begin to back their reserves in treasury bills. And that tells me that the government...
Which treasury bills?
U.S. treasury bills.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that. What timeline treasury bills?
That's a good question. I don't think we need to look at that. We should look at this a little bit closer, because when I saw that happening,
I'm willing to bet they're not 10-year unless there's some really weird incentive.
I think you get a great payout on short ones. It used to be,
which is not how it's supposed to work.
I know. Yeah, it used to be back in my day.
Tell me that you don't have a prostate problem and are about to have a liquidity crisis. Tell me that. I'm out. That was good.
I'm getting old. You're worrying me, man. Now, yeah.
So this is the government. This is government liquidity crisis.
Ooh,
I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's green for crypto, right?
Yeah.
I think so. We saw the banks collapsing, and a lot of sentiment was really bad for banks in March, and Bitcoin doubled. It acted opposite of what you would have thought would happen to Bitcoin, and other risk assets in Wall Street got hurt.
Okay, I was going to say, who would have thought? Us or your traditional market?
Well, your traditional market.
I'm not saying we were like, ooh, we're so smart.
Yeah, I mean, seeing these things collapse just gets them closer to collapsing into the hands of crypto, in my opinion. Like, I'm trying to look at it
brings up a good point. It doesn't matter what T-bills, it matters the BTFP. So yeah,
straight up. Yeah. So, and I won't bore you to death, but it used to be shorter T-bills gave you less. Now they give you more. Basically, the inversion everyone's freaking out about. Which, if we head out into a Great Depression, I hope you got your beans and bullets, because I do, and stay off my lawn. So,
buy lawn.
I
apologize. I'm chaos right now.
Think about if you're a prepper out there and you got a group of friends and you got that one friend that you just know is gonna be an issue, just let them know. Listen, while civilization's working, great, we can hang out. But if it stops, get off my lawn. Just make it known ahead of time, so you don't have that awkward conversation to be the jerk. Now, speaking of endless spending and BlackRock, Ukraine, you even brought up Ukraine. Here we go.
Who brought that up?
You did. That's
Who
all
said?
you did. Well, BlackRock did too, though, so that's why we can say it now.
Yeah.
Just 28% of GOP voters want more aid for the Ukraine. McConnell reads, this is the number one priority. So basically, he's doing complete opposite of what his constituents actually want.
Wait, is that the lady who taps his elbow to turn him on and off again? She's always there.
He's got a definite handler there. But yeah, this just kind of shows me, and I just want to edify how disconnected from reality our supposedly elected leaders are from the average day citizen. This is crazy to think that the number one priority for Americans is to make sure that you put us into a situation where we're in World War III, and then my son has to fight your war a decade from now. This is not the ideal
If they want to
situation.
subsidize stuff, because I remember we talked on earlier, it's like, most of the wheat and grain is made in Ukraine. Cool. Why don't we stop subsidizing fucking soybeans
Right.
and corn and do other stuff in the United States? Like, Would it behoove you to do that? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired of this shit.
I know, and I am too. I'm down tired of it.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Too damn bad.
yeah. You know,
Can we get one more? Too damn bad.
That's
Yeah.
too damn bad.
Oh my god, that
Somebody
was
clip
amazing.
that.
Okay. So we're talking about corruption. We're talking about a little aggravation. Obviously, I brought up the fact that FTX funneled a lot of money to mostly the Dems, but also the Republicans. And still, people are waiting for the Republicans and the Democrats to give that money back that was illicitly given to them. One thing I just wanted to highlight here is that
Can we just call them politicians?
Yeah.
I'm tired of people thinking there's a bipartisan.
look at this. I just want to zoom in on who's gotten the stuff. So pull up my screen here. So the Biden Victory Fund, Heartland Resurgence, the Reds, Repubs, NRCC, Activate America, Stab Now Victory Fund. Now this is what I wanted to come to this for. Who knows who Debbie Stab Now is? Anyone? She is the
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
she is the lady that brought up Rostin Benham, who's overseeing the CFTC. CFTC.
Hold
is
on,
who
can we go
everyone
back
thinks
to
is
that
their
real
friend?
quick?
Yeah, pull up the screen again here.
Hold on. The Georgia Federal Election Committee.
Straight up. Absolutely. Straight
Continue.
to the Georgia Federal Election Committee, straight to North Carolina.
Anyway,
This is all our
back
money.
back to hashtag stab now. What you were saying before I interjected.
Oh, hashtag Stab Now. So Rostin Benham, brought up by Stab Now, brought into the political sphere. He's overseeing the CFTC. He is an ESG shill, only concerned with making sure that we don't have too big of a carbon footprint, making sure the cows don't fart too much, right? Because the cows are such a problem, not the machine-based farming system that we have now. Regenerative farming can be done at mass if we actually had any cojones and took personal responsibility for our immediate area, but we don't. We try to put all that responsibility on someone else. It's an aggravating situation. What's that?
You want to know my favorite type of a whore? A horticulturalist. It's like, it's funny if you do proper crop rotation and it changes your nitrogen levels and you properly put in rhizobium and then your potassium levels get where you need. It's almost like biospheres self-regulate if you stop being a prick.
Almost, right?
Huh.
Absolutely. And why isn't aquaponics a bigger conversation point, right? You want to be regenerative. You want to, do well. Like the system that we have here on Earth is an amazing, intricate system that works together, and all you have to do is coexist with it.
But yet they keep making fertilizers that literally destroy rhizobium. Quick little class for you guys. If you don't know what rhizobium is, the most abundant, technically oxygen is the most abundant element on Earth, but the most abundant in the atmosphere is diatomic nitrogen, meaning N2. Plants need nitrogen. Well, here's the funny thing is they can't fix it on their own. Like literally it's in surplus, but in a diatomic form, they can't do anything with that. So you need rhizobium, which are basically microbacteria that actually, or microorganisms, if you will, that a lot of times live in root nodules. And really, we're laughing about this, but they actually fix the nitrogen. Most of that's in the top maybe 2 or 3 feet of the soil. If you grabbed all the rhizobium in the world, you could probably fill like a 5-gallon bucket with it. I know that sounds extreme, but there's not a lot of it. And all we're doing is constantly destroying that. So while we're sitting here talking about, like CO2 levels and this, and again, I'm not saying any of that isn't relevant, but it's just like if we actually gave a shit, our farming would totally be different.
Yeah.
The things we allowed to go in the soil would be totally different. We wouldn't be pumping fluoride everywhere, which is one of the biggest byproducts of aluminum production. It's like, listen to the narrative here, because if they actually gave a shit, what they would do would be totally different. Like, you ever done something really bad and you were dating somebody and they're just like, show me you care. Well, that's to the government. Show me you care.
Yep.
Like, because you're not.
They
Yep.
show us they care by pumping more money into the farmland or wherever
You mean pharmacy land.
wherever McDonald's supplies come from, so that they can make more money on us with all the fast food restaurants.
It's the agribusiness.
They don't want you to grow your own food. They don't want you to take care of yourself. They don't want you to be healthy. They want you to go to the hospital and pay them.
Yeah.
And Eric
Grow your
Carlson
own
has
food.
mushrooms.
Become ungovernable. That's what I say.
And learn how to cook. Like, cooking is love. Cooking is source. That's what gives people energy. Learn to cook. Put time and love into your food. Grow your own food. Be self-sustaining.
You know, my mom's in town this week, and I'm from Colorado, and we're all about green chili out there. Since I moved to Georgia, I haven't found a single restaurant that does green chili correctly. She came out here. She made me some Colorado green chili. We basically put
Good
that
old
stuff
mama's
on everything. Yeah,
And
good
use
old mom's
a
cook.
lot of cumin.
Lots of cumin.
You know what's really funny?
She
You
used
put
the rest of it.
You put a bunch of cumin and green chili, and aren't you always determined that there's cheese in there and there's not?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with the flavor profile. You'll be like,
Yeah.
you put cheese in here.
Dude, green chili. I'm going to
even
start
there.
ordering green chili in bulk and bring some into the studio here. But,
Because it's the basement, I'm going to derail for a second here.
yeah, go for it.
So it is proven that through epigenetics that what you think and what you eat changes your genetic expression. You can think yourself healthy. You can think yourself sick. You could probably never actually test this. So let's say McDonald's actually is a healthy product. Totally hypothetical here. But exactly what Hannah was saying is because all the people who hate their jobs are cooking and they have all this hatred and anger as they're cooking that it's literally like that's what's making it unhealthy.
They got
Yo.
the
It is
hateful
obvious
vibes.
it is unhealthy, but it's again like be self-sufficient. It's like you're putting energy in to everything. And I know some
Yo.
people are like, oh, this is hippy dippy. It's like everything in the universe is energy. Everything interacts. Positive heals, negative doesn't.
Okay, we were my roommate and I were having this conversation. We were having this conversation, and it does sound hippie, like whatever. Like my initial thought was it's kind of like hippie-ish, but I said something about we were talking about the Barbie movie narrative and how
God, that movie was so good.
I could go on a tangent here, but it was talking about how like when you were talking about women power, like there's a lot of different narratives that you could get from that movie if you watch it and you focus on different things. There's a lot of different things that you could get from it, and some of it's surface level and it's just like entertaining, and some of it's like
Extremely
deeper.
existentialistic.
It's deep, like
Right.
But we were talking about that, and it led us to this conversation about like McDonald's and food. And I was saying, like, honestly, cooking is a skill. Like they've always said, like it's misogynistic or whatever for a woman to be able to cook. But I'm like, low key, that's like one of the most valuable things you can get is somebody that like wants to cook for you and like wants to like make it
Nurture.
like they want
Yep.
it to taste very good, and they want it to like be healthy, and they want it to give you energy, and they want it to be something that like helps you and fills you up. And I was like, that's like a great thing to have. Like
Great way to destroy the nuclear family. And it doesn't always have to be the woman.
It doesn't
my
have to
mom
be the
cooked,
woman,
but
but-
like
but
my
my
dad
roommate-
did a lot too. Like my dad was an
Going on
orthopedic
is-
surgeon that cooked a lot of the time for
my
the family.
dad cooked for me more than my mom growing up, but that has nothing to do with it. But she said, she was like, low key, I feel like it's different energy that goes into the food, and then that's what you consume. And I was like, okay, that's a little hippie, but that's literally what you
It's
just
what it is.
said. And
So,
it's,
like,
everything is
To
energy.
back that up, I know I bring it up all the time. It's
Yeah.
literally called psychoneuroimmunology. Seems like a big word, really easy to break it down. It's literally you thinking yourself healthy. So it's like if you're in a fast food line, you're in a hurry, they've got shitty energy.
Yeah.
You've got shitty energy.
Yeah.
You're eating that food. It's like, what do you think's going to happen?
Yep. 100%. There's stuff to this, man. Your vibe is your tribe. And it also goes into, kind of manifesting your goals and getting there, right? You can apply this and the idea that our vibe is our tribe, and what you put out comes back and affects others around you to good. You can use that energy, make sure your energy is focused in a positive manner.
That's why I don't like Ethereum.
Oh, God.
That's a crypto bro, just negative Nancy.
That's why
Ethereum's fun and cool.
I'm sorry. Anyway,
Oh
we're
my
gonna
God.
show
All
up in
right,
these 2
back to
minutes.
crypto. Maxine Waters called Bitcoin Bitcom apparently today. I want to hear
I'm
this.
sorry, pronounce that one more time.
Let's
what?
hear it. Let's hear it.
Wait. Restart it.
All right.
Go.
Since we started out on BitConf, let's go further into crypto.
She nailed it.
No joke. I love her style.
You like her style? She's very
don't-
serious. Look at the.
She don't give a damn.
No.
She
She's
said,
like,
all right,
"Fuck
Bitcoin,
you."
let's get it.
I would love. She smokes fat cigars and fucking drinks
This
whiskey
lady
on a
don't play.
porch, and I want to chill with her. Like I legitimately do like her. I may or may not agree with everything she says, but like there's something I like.
Well,
About
and I want to be fair. She did say that she was planning to return the SBF funds in March this year. So, we'll see if that happens. Here's her thanking SBF for his candid sponsorship. You know what I mean? But I do think that she's going to be paying it back. Just highlighting there. So maybe she did. She was been talking publicly about, yes, I received the funds. They need to go back. It's wrong. This came from a fraud, a Ponzi scheme. So just keeping the level headed there. I know, many of my viewers feel my way about the political sphere. But we got to keep a level head and be able to analyze information without emotions, right? A man that's not in control of his emotions is a bullet.
True
That's
that.
That's what happens.
Oh, Mr. Techno Goody said she said Ponzi screams.
Absolutely. Coinbase out in Washington, D.C. over the last day, along with 40 other crypto founders. They went to D.C. and we're working on persuading lawmakers to support a new set of crypto rules. I think they even had coffee, or they're handing out water bottles with, yeah, here it is. So wake up. 52 million Americans own crypto. You numbnuts. Get the ball rolling.
I feel like that's not a correct number.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit high.
1/6 of the United States owns crypto.
Doesn't it feel a little bit high? Oh, okay. So the overall number,
1 in 6 people own crypto.
Here, let's look this up. Go ahead and pull down this.
What are we at? Like, are we a little above 300 million?
Let me see here. We're at 335 million, 340 million people in the U.S.
1/7 ish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling BS on that, unless the government bought a bunch in our names, or they're accounting for the CDBCs that they're going to give to us.
But it just every social security number is a new account,
or all the people who own one Doge. Like,
yeah, I mean, this poll, it's putting the average at around 13.7 of U.S. adults currently hold cryptocurrency.
Wait, 13.7 and 52. That number's a little different, right?
Yeah. Well, this is saying 46 million. And then their can is saying 52 million. So maybe they're highballing a little bit. They're rounding up a little bit, maybe.
I still think that's way too high.
You think so? Here at the Capitol.
I mean, I want it to be higher, but I just don't think that's an accurate number.
Yeah, that's basically saying.
Safe moon holders.
Well, this is, if that's the number that it actually is, 52 million, it'd be around 15% of the U.S. Now, does 15%?
That still seems high.
You think so?
What do we say on average? Like 3 to 5% of the world owns crypto. Like,
well, yeah, but the world has.
No, I get that. But the United States, that's a stat I would just love to actually see reinforced.
Yeah, I want to find out that actual true number there, because there's so many variables.
What is a true number? What is truth, Drew?
Oh God, don't do this.
Your truth.
Birds aren't real. Okay, that's the truth. Birds aren't real.
Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
Have you? Oh my God, I have not seen a baby pigeon before. Are they
inside or outside my frying pan?
Oh Jesus!
A pigeon.
I know what you said.
BJ Fry's pigeon.
Yeah, that's the word on the street. That's the new narrative that's going to take off.
I like how they got soft bones still.
Yeah. But truth is coming out. It just takes a little bit of time to do that. To hide the truth. Time is always on the truth side. So Elon Musk essentially he paid $44 billion for a crime scene about a year and a half ago. Elon Musk has now fired the ex-Twitter election integrity team for undermining election integrity. So absolutely fantastic. Justice moves like a
You know what undermines the election integrity? The Electoral College and gerrymandering.
Gerrymandering is a big thing. Absolutely. No, there's a lot to that.
I know we point our fingers at certain things, but I'm like, you also have a flawed system. Yeah. Anyway.
I like the idea of if you own land, you're able to vote. That's my...
Oh, really?
I would do that.
Oh, really?
I would do that. If I was the president...
You sound like you work for BlackRock, because look at everybody. Owen's never going to own a home.
No, because
Hannah's never going to own a home.
We did a deep dive. Majority of land, vast majority of farmland and land in general is... I mean, I know the BLM has a large chunk, but the American public hold a large amount of farmland, much more than China and Bill Gates. Yes, much, much more. We looked into that and actually have a video on our video section here in the Blockchain Basement on our YouTube. God, I can't remember if it's come out yet or not. We're going to have to look at that. But we did do a deep dive on that actual number. It's a lot less scary than people make it out to be. So, yeah, that's what I would do. I know it's a little bit over the top, but you know what? Seems to have a value, because then if you own land, you have an intrinsic interest in the demographic and community directly around you, much more so than someone that's just floating through life accepting handouts and looting Nike every time that they feel like they need to eat some food. So,
Bro, literally.
you know, just the way
Tired
of
of
the
them.
world. Sorry, hard truth coming at you. So Benny Johnson came out. Republican State Treasurer Kimberly Lee has been announced she is currently acting governor of Arizona. Katie Hobbs is no longer the governor as of now for unknown reasons. Maybe the cartel had something to do with that. But she's expected to return tomorrow. Interesting. And this is just the Treasurer Kimberly Lee. Yee. God, I tear that up. But yeah, if you remember, Katie Hobbs actually got caught just a few months ago for her connection to the Sonora cartel. So we'll be interested to see if she comes back to her post / if they allow her to come back to her post. It's absolutely insane, asinine, and ridiculous that she was able to remain in her post after those connections came about. So money laundering through own ownerships in connection with the Sonora, not a good look, right? Not the best look for the American public. Now, this is a question. Hannah, Owen, I don't know if you want to do this. You only own like Litecoin, don't you?
No.
Really? What else do you own?
I have Bitcoin, Cardano, Ethereum, and something else.
XRP?
XRP, yeah.
You're slowly turning into almost a degen like us. It's going to get worse and worse every week.
Yeah, I got
well,
those.
Here is Kyren, no BS crypto on Twitter. Which pill would you take to recover the market? Blue pill, Link, Monero, and XDC. Red pill is Render, Casper, and Saito. I don't even know what the hell Saito is. Green pill, A0, eGold, Caspa.
So far I'm going green.
Black pill, XRP, Quant, or HBAR.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay. Purple pill, Energy Web Token. What's this one? NRXRA. This is not. I don't even know what the hell this one is. That's not the one I want. NXRA. You're probably losing on that one. Matic. Not much, but probably will go north. White pill is Algorand. IOTA XLM. Yellow pill. WTK, don't know. Happy, BNB. Pink pill is Dot, Glimmer, and Flare. What are you going with?
It seems
BJ?
like the correct is black or green.
The black pill, black
the
pill,
green
or the
pill?
green pill. Okay, so you'd be choosing.
And I'm not saying black pill because of XRP. If you know anything about me, I would never say that. It's the Quant and HBAR.
Yeah.
But eGold and Caspa, it's pretty strong.
eGold, that might be a thing. It might come back.
I need to actually buy some
I
eGold again.
think red or black.
Or
Go
is it
dogs.
Metaverse X now?
You
Go
think red or
dogs,
black?
baby.
Yes. eGold did rebrand to MetaBack. You think red or black, Hannah?
Dogs, red or black.
All right. So XRP, you're going for X. Or what is it? X? Is it red or black? You got to choose.
I don't want to.
You have to choose.
I don't. I need to look into Casper, and
I'm
I don't
going
know
green
what
just 'cause not
Saito
XRP.
is.
Okay.
XRP baby, throw your X's up.
Gross.
All right. Hannah's black pill. BJ's green
Can
pill.
I throw up half of the X?
Oh.
And then I'll finish it. We can finish it.
This is a tough one. God, I love my Link. I feel like the ISO narrative is not dead. We all act like it's dead because there's not a hard-sided inroad for the SWIFT system to just guaranteed accept every crypto that's ISO compliant, which should be the obvious case. I don't expect that. I think that
Also, Sin Diesel, never change. You are a gem.
Oh, he's absolutely fantastic.
I love the little.
Oh,
It's so good.
all right. I'm doing red pill. I'm doing red pill.
Hey.
I'm doing red pill. Just because Render, I think that's going to be, absolutely crushing it from the AI narrative, not going away, people realizing what the imagery implications of AI really are. So I think red pill right there. Even though I love my Link, I love my XRP, I love the HBAR. Well, HBAR, it's like a love-hate kind of relationship, you know what I mean? But, the reason why I feel that this AI narrative, this imagery, this metaverse narrative is not going to die.
Oh my God. Also, we see Randy in chat.
Oh, where's that?
Randy, I met as the bass player from Stitched Up Heart, and he is a gem, and hopefully was going to come check out the channel. But
really,
I just finally told him. He's been asking for like 2 weeks. He's like, "What's the other show that we're on?" But
Dude,
this one, welcome to the basement.
That was such a throwback. Stitched Up Heart, man. I remembered that band. That was fun times. We played with them in Durango.
Wait, really?
Yeah, we played with them in Durango years ago. And it was like one of the funnest mosh pits I've ever been a part of. Like Durango's this tiny little mountain town. The show is at this person's warehouse on their land, and they had just a massive barbecue, kegs, just a huge party. And I mean, it got to the point, my guitarist weighs about 450 pounds, and I jumped in the air about 4 feet in the air, like lifted my feet up and then slammed down on the ground next to him, and we broke the stage in half. So that was probably the best show.
I think Randy's been playing them for at least 7 years.
He might have been there. God, it was probably actually before he was in. It was around 2014, 2013, maybe. Good to see. Is that Randy, the actual guy from Stitch Apart? Nice to see it. That's really cool. That's really cool. Well, all right. So on the metaverse, AI just won't die, just like Boris the Blade. We have The Verge coming out with Meta's smart glasses that can take calls, play music, and live stream directly from your face. This is absolutely crazy. I don't really adore the Zuck by any means, but this technological advancement cannot be ignored. Let's check this out. You ready to play this, Owen?
Yep.
All right.
Owen.
The next generation of Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses. These are the first smart glasses that are built and shipping with Meta AI in them. Starting in the US, you're going to get this state-of-the-art AI that you can interact with hands-free wherever you go.
Wow.
We're going to be issuing a free software update to the glasses that makes them multimodal. So the glasses are going to be able to understand what you're looking at when you ask them questions. So if you want to know what the building is that you're standing in front of, or if you want to translate a sign that's in front of you to know what it's saying,
That's so crazy.
or if you need help fixing this sad leaky faucet, you can basically just talk to Meta AI and look at it, and it'll walk you through it step by step how to do it. We built in one more feature into these smart glasses. You are going to be able to live
us all your
stream
data
to your friends and followers from your glasses.
That's crazy.
Everybody is ready to race, and I am getting ready to. Let's go.
Switching to glasses.
Being able to share what you're doing live with your friends and followers while staying completely in the moment is the kind of thing that you can only do on smart.
That is so sick.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, this does look really cool, but those who are, I know I'm butchering the quote intentionally and augmenting it, but those who will trade convenience for freedom deserve neither.
Is safety, but
like,
same thing.
No, I don't know. I augmented that, but it's, I mean, conceptually very cool, but like, again, data, ELUA, like that's
it's gonna have everything.
It's gonna get spicy.
It's gonna have everything. God, I think I kept dropping tons of links. Oh yeah, this is related to it. This is just on the AI narrative. This came out as well. 6 to 8 year olds are going to be able to be doing this for sure. That is exactly what children will do with their time. Find ways to use AI to skip doing their homework. There's a hot take that's absolutely true.
It definitely
You know what else
is.
they're gonna skip?
What's that?
Neuroplasticity.
Ooh.
And getting smart.
That's the reality of it. Look at this. You can put a picture of their homework in, and ChatGPT comes down and solves the equations. It's reading the image. That's absolutely crazy.
You can put in multiple choice test questions, and it just says the answer is A.
Yep.
Like,
That's insane. That's insane.
over
While you're
for
wearing
us.
your Meta glasses.
They're the age
Right.
of the age of needing or even thinking that there is a need for a degree are over.
Mhm.
Like, it's over, because a bachelor's degree is not, you can get it with ChatGPT. Like, hot take. I mean, not really though.
And people are worried about
lukewarm take for real.
robots replacing our jobs. It's like, well, if you're learning nothing, and during your developmental years when like neuroplasticity and gaining intelligence matter, and you are absolutely I can't say that word, but we'll say just taking it off and putting the load somewhere else, like you're going to have a dumber, easier to control society.
Yeah.
Unless people start pushing for creativity and start coming up with new things, but it's like, this just seems like complacency 101.
Yeah, I mean, well, you can guarantee that. You've seen Wall-E? You seen the movie Wall-E? That's the best explanation of what we're talking about. Yep. Absolutely. Like, they have a chair that just floats right along the ground. All of your food flies over to you. Everyone that's in the entire society is like this. Something happens and they need to get up to save themselves. Majority of the population ends up getting crushed because they can't physically respond or do anything. And yes, Idiocracy. Terry Crews was in Idiocracy, if I do recall.
He was president.
He was amazing in that movie. Absolutely incredible. But on this AI narrative, we've seen some movement. I got this on this iMac here, Owen, the Sandbox.
No.
Active users reach a monthly peak. A little bit of life being shown in
so
the
there were
Sand
4
community.
users.
Yeah, so it went from 4 to 8. Facebook's AI glasses influence. Let's see here. Like most metaverse tokens, Sandbox price performance H2 of 2023 has been underwhelming. Can Facebook's recent artificial intelligence powered glasses spark a sustained market demand across the Sand ecosystem? The answer is no, but there will be short pumps and narrative hopium built out of it. Absolutely.
Hey, don't describe my Saturday night.
Oh, God. Listen, ride the pump. Get out of the pump. Okay. So yeah, let's check out this. Pull up this other chart, this other computer here for you. We got some live. I got dual wheeled computers here. This is Sandbox, and this thing sucks. Look at this.
Yo, I actually have so much to say on this.
What is this? Look at that.
What are you gonna say that doesn't?
What are you gonna say about this, Hannah?
I mean, a lot of you guys probably don't know, but for like almost a year, I worked like directly with a company that was partnered with the Sandbox.
Okay.
So we were like hiring people to create assets for the Sandbox, and I was like in the Discord with a bunch of like NFT projects. Like this was the peak of CyberKongs. I was like in their Discord talking to the team, in the penguins, Pudgy Penguins, Sappy Seals in their Discord talking to them. Who else? There's so many like NFT projects, and I had no idea who any of them were. I didn't like they were all on different chains. Like it wasn't limited to like one chain. It was like everybody. But I was working with the Sandbox. Like I was coming to this office and I was working with a remote team that was like involved with the Sandbox for like almost a year. But I got on Twitter today and somebody followed me, and they have the founder of the Sandbox in their header. So I'm about to connect with them and see what's up, because I don't know, it's just we've come a long way.
I mean,
a little bit of work's been going into it.
I used to be like going home and like logging into the Sandbox like pretty regularly.
You were one of the 4 people?
Yeah, there's like nobody online. Like because I had to like record my screen and like make assets for this company. I was like making videos.
Because it was always in a closed beta, and then it was like next one coming soon.
Yeah.
Delay.
It wasn't bad, but like it just wasn't anything.
I mean, this looks
crazy.
unwell, you know? So like seeing all this news, you see, and I just want to bring this chart up. You see a news about, is Sandbox going to pump? They're not talking about a pump up to its original, realization or super hype moment. This was the front end of the token's life cycle. This is when Metaverse was fresh and new. This thing absolutely went bananas. Now it's got a lot harder of a job to reclaim that previous all-time high. The market cap has been falling pretty much in line with the price action, but
like I would say this has no chance of coming back because of like the people not caring about voxel, but scene kids are coming back, so don't discount anything.
Yeah,
oh my God, they are, aren't they?
They are.
I like it. We control all we want right now,
You
but
look like you're like a metal scene person right now. Look at
Drew told me I look like a 70s like Led Zeppelin. He
I
said
thought I
like
walked into a Led Zeppelin concert when I showed up
because
today.
my hair.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, unbelievable. So, all right, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Just you have all right. So what? Goths are coming back. Is that cool now?
I said scene kids.
Scene kids like Tumblr in like 2009.
The OG influencers.
They had like skateboards and like eyeliner, swoop hair. Oh my God, the girls. I know you know what I'm talking about. The girl.
I'm just gonna let Hannah go on the rant.
The girl with the big hair that like swooped over their eyes. You know what I'm talking about?
That's the look.
It was like puffy up here.
That's my Aunt Julie.
I don't know, but for 4 years that I was hyper fixated, and I tried to get my hair to be like that, and it just never was right. It just was never right.
Same.
But yeah, I wouldn't. The Sandbox like right now, the sentiment is like not bullish, and we can like laugh all we want, but like also I have the same thoughts as DJ. Like BJ, don't discount anything. I don't know.
I'm not gonna
they
discount
had
it, but, like-
crazy partnerships, and like they were all over the place in the bull market. Like
They
were
got
being
their
talked
name
about
all over the
time.
place.
But they
We
never
thought it was
did
it.
anything.
Yeah, they didn't do anything too
Yeah.
crazy. So I don't know. I would put tiny bag, but I don't have any more.
The game didn't look good. That's why I'm not about it. The game looked like garbage. I think that they need to compete with Grand Theft Auto's level of interaction before they have something.
Like Shirley Manson,
Shirley Nanson. Who's that? Who's that?
the lead vocalist of Garbage. I'm only happy when it ends.
Oh, what?
Wow! You have to do it as an overlay channel.
Really, Owen?
Go to the input and hit the number
Really?
one. No,
This
go to
is
the
fun.
input and hit number one.
Yeah, Owen's trying to get feisty on
We're,
this.
we're live teaching
Unbelievable.
it. Click out
He's
of
trying
that.
to line that up
Click out of it.
perfectly.
Now click on the number one on the input. There you go. And now put it where you want to put it.
you
There.
guys-
Yeah, give us the look. Clip that out.
Look at that. We're learning live.
Clip that out.
live time.
Yeah.
Wait, did we see real quick? But we're talking about the metaverse.
Yeah.
That Zuck did an interview in the metaverse with Lex Friedman. I just saw
I
it in
saw that
Slack.
he had done it, but we didn't have it up on the stream. Maybe we should bring that up for ATV.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk. We need to talk about that. That's interesting though. Just the whole concept of the metaverse. They said the metaverse was huge last run. It was, but I think the whole meaning of the metaverse is probably going to change a lot. Like we're going to see. But I don't know. This interview is literally, I think, Zuck and Lex Friedman in the so-called metaverse.
I mean, Flat Smack, even what they're saying, it's like whenever you're talking about metaverse, it's already here. It's called GTA 5. Like you literally have role-playing servers. You literally have a currency. If they took literally some kind of crypto asset and integrated it, you have no competition with the metaverse. It's already there.
I think the metaverse is bigger than that, though. I think it's also like every social media platform and your profile picture, and I think it has like an identity.
This sounds like
But
we
yeah,
should
you're
get you guys
right.
battling
You play
about
in
this.
you play in GTA, and then you have all your assets, and then you can take that to Twitter, and you can
Oh my
like
god,
you know.
I want my pink E30 with the wide
Let
body
me see
kit.
this. You have is this a new lightsaber you brought into the office today or something? What is this thing?
Yeah, it is a new lightsaber.
Turn this
I bought
thing
a new
on.
lightsaber.
Buy me
This
Mars.
thing, it weighs like 10 pounds or something like
That's
that.
great.
That is a substantial unit.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
Whoa.
I also,
somebody need to wiggle it.
Hannah, you and my wife need to get together and talk
Oh
about
god, you can't grab that part.
fashion in the
Turn your hand
metaverse.
off.
Fashion in the metaverse. That's a subject matter that we need to get ahead of, because I think that fashion in the metaverse, or just how fashion might be impacted by crypto, is a conversation that's going to be kicking up once again. God, that thing is so sick.
Yeah, I mean I talked to my sister a lot with that. Like I think at the time is when she was working as Versace as their marketing director. But she's working with a different large company that I keep trying to get involved in, like kind of some metaverse stuff for sure.
Yeah.
If you guys, a good connection to like stay up to date on Web3 fashion is Web3 Max on Twitter. Web3 MAXXXX. Like it's a bunch of XXX. But she posts like all of this Web3 fashion content. I want to get more into that as
You
well
should.
too.
We
And all
absolutely
the
should.
brands that like RTFTK.
Yep. Yep. It's a good way to get more women involved with the blockchain. Because we're here to spread the word of financial freedom to everybody at the right times, and then let them know when we're thinking it's about time to be taking some profits. We're not there yet. We're
Usually
in
within a
accumulation
year
zone. It is. It's coming up. It's coming up. We have the halving in April 2024. Historically, it should be a little less than a year after that point. So we're getting ready. We're stacking our bags. It's an exciting time. Lots of news going on. A lot to talk about. Really didn't get to everything I had, but I had quite a bit here. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Candle Daddy, Scotty Swing, Veteran Crypto, Sin Diesel. This is the Bitcoin Wave, Flat Smack, Meek Vision. You guys are all awesome. Thank you very much for joining us, sticking with us. Share the links with all your friends. Let's spread this message far and wide. And let's go get ready. We're going to have some ATB action now. Take care.
Do svidania.